Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and yes, the age of spring alds is indeed over, and it's going to be a Holy Roman versus Chinese showdown, which should be quite a bit of fun. Obviously, we don't have to deal with as many clock tower spring alds anymore, which were very, very devastating before. The game has certainly changed quite a bit for the better. I would have to say that I'm very happy with the patch. Obviously disappointed that the Delhi Sultanate still isn't fixed, but I do think that the change to spring alds has made the game a much more healthy experience, right? Spring alds basically deal with what they're supposed to deal with now, and I think that's just huge. Now, going to be going for an early Aachen build up in the northwest. It will be my Holy Roman Empire. And my opponent here, the Chinese down in the southeast, going to be going for a very standard opening as well. So going for the early berry bushes and using the official to supervise it is very nice. It does give you an immediate 20% spike in your food income, which is really, really powerful. And from there, you can also collect taxes. So, there are some Chinese builds that I've seen around, which are quick double TC builds, where basically you don't even mine any gold in the first age. You just use the official to tax your way all the way to the second age, which is very similar to the Rus. The Rus like to do that, of course, with their hunting cabins, as well as the early game on the map. My build, though, going to be a little bit less exciting. Very, very standard here. Just going to be going for the early gold, giving the Jesus to the food workers, and then eventually switching him on over to the mining camps. Now, my opponent this game obviously has played against Holy Romans quite a bit, and you guys will be seeing this as you can see where the relics are. And right now, I'm scouting all the relics out. I don't believe I know where they're all at. I have found this relic right here, and I did go double scout, because I feel like on a map like High View, where there's tons of stealth forest, it's really, really important to know where everything is and know where my relics are as the game does progress. So we do find a couple more, and you'll see my opponent is actually going to be walling off the relics here, which is really, really hilarious. And it does certainly deny the Aachen or the Regnitz Cathedral for quite some time. So, again, continuing on my old crusade of not being greedy with the Holy Romans. What happens to me when I play them is I see the gold, I see the money signs, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm getting so much gold, and then I forget to build actual military infrastructure, and then I just get karate chop basically, which is very, very funny. But in this case, not going to be making that mistake this time. Getting very, very early lumber, and will be setting up ye old stable. So the scout continuing to peruse here through the forest, my opponent gathering quite a few sheep, and it looks like he is going for the Chinese taxation build. In terms of his current resources, he's at 140 on the gold, which means that he's just kind of taxing every time he gets up to 20, dropping it off real quick and then coming back. But this will give me a little bit of a faster tech. So the Aachen Chapel is going to be coming up, and this spot is quite good for it. It's going to be hitting the berry bushes, hitting the gold vein here, and then also if I want to set up farms in this region, that will be an option for a little bit later in the game. My opponent, I would imagine, is going to go for barbecue. He's just doing the taxation right now to get there. 20 tax in the lumber mill, going to be dropping that off up to 180, and then he will collect the last 20 tax here from this mill. So a very, very clean build here from the Chinese in the beginning. Again, here comes the taxation, rubbing his hands together, and he will be dropping them back off at Yule TC. So second official coming out, and of course, now he can supervise the lumber and or the gold. Probably going to be supervising the gold here on the other side to get a little bit of a faster castle age. And the barbecue of the sun has yet to come up, but again, China can always be a little bit behind in terms of their landmarks, and usually they're going to be okay. I think he's just setting up the barbecue in the front, and here it comes, which does give him a little bit of control, although setting up a little bit further up to secure that gold node I think would have been perhaps ideal. Although if I was rushing his base, this would be the better position because it protects his TC, so I guess it goes either way, really. So Aachen Chapel's on its way. The dreaded supply block is there, but we do get past it without taking any issues. Forestry coming in, a little bit of an early eco upgrade. And now we have the mill set up. So I thought about growing Grand Theft Venison here, but I figured I have the mill. I can also set up some farms here by the Aachen Chapel if I so please. And let's just go for a little bit more of a rush to the Regnitz Cathedral, because obviously the Expert Scouts does cost 275 gold, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, let's just save that and go to Castle Age and see if we can get away for it. My opponent, on the other hand, is going to be going for the Grand Theft Venison. So we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding here as my opponent continues to develop his base. Early stable coming out, and China can go Grand Theft Venison super quick. He actually already finished it, and that was one of the reasons why I also didn't want to bother, because China does it so goddamn quick. So he uses the supervisor to supervise the mill. That will then give him 200% faster research on the Expert Scouts. He then switches the supervisor over to the stable here, where he's able to get the scouts coming out, and he can just go grab the deer on the map. Very, very slick play from my opponent. I have to say, this looks like a very high-level cookie cutter build for sure. I've seen quite a few guides on YouTube and things like that of this build, and he's doing it more or less perfectly. So kudos to him, man. Very, very good execution. Now back in the base, so we are going for the more Walmart approach, setting up farms near the old Aachen Chapel and going for the berry bushes. In terms of income per minute, I am a little bit ahead on most, which is normal for the Aachen Chapel. My opponent will catch up when he gets the deer for sure. Here, a little bit of battling in the forest. This was the first time I actually saw that he was doing the Expert Scouts as well. That deer does not look like it's actually bouncing very well there, but nonetheless, it is doing its best. Gold's going pretty hard. We are currently at 454 on gold, looking to get to the next age. In terms of banked resources, we're at 322 and 400. So we are saving up and just kind of passively making horsemen. So I am making horsemen on the map, just basic HRE horsemen for map control. And this is important because if you're going to be going for quick relics and you don't have any military to support your prelates as they move out, your opponents can usually deny them pretty well. And it's very common to get your own horsemen to battle the Holy Roman prelates as they try and grab the relics. So I wanted to make sure I had superiority with the cavalry at least. My opponent going for a more greedy build, again, just going for the Grand Theft Venison, putting all the deer right next to the mill, and then from there using the Imperial official to supervise the mill and just get a huge boom in his food, although the official hasn't been switched back yet. And it looks like he's going for double TC as well. So the stone outcropping is being hit. Once you see someone gets the stone outcropping to about 1300, that's usually a big tell that they have gotten their 300 and they can get that second TC. So if you are scouting, that is pretty important. Now, in terms of eco, he's at 27 villagers. I would imagine we're pretty much neck and neck. I'm at 26. So yeah, I was probably just like a little bit behind on one villager or something. And the Aachen Chapel is doing good. We got farm set up. The radius is hitting all of these units, so the farmers are going to be working faster. It's also hitting the berry bushes, so it's kind of like a janky version of what he's doing. One of the more meta builds is to go for the Grand Theft Venison, but against China, I feel like Chinese players often have been doing this with the scouts. So I opted to do a little bit of horseman harass, just running around his base, attacking villagers. I believe we did get one of his villagers there, so we were able to get a little bit of damage. And what's great about this is it forces him into barracks, right? He's getting 2 barracks now. We're picking more villagers. This guy's going to be going down. And, you know, all these little things do add up. We force him off lumber for a second. And the horseman harass, though it's not like devastating, it does put your opponent in a bit of a mindset here. And this is what a mistake I make all the time. Like, I do the exact same thing. I, like, don't build any military until I'm already, they're at my gates attacking me and shit, right? But here they are. The horsemen are running away after a pretty successful little raid. In terms of the banked resources, we're getting pretty close to Castle Age. Setting up a market here because I have a ton of gold, and I'm just going to be trading in to try and get the regnants a little bit faster. And prelates will be popping out soon as well. So let's fast forward a little bit. We do trade for the resources, and the regnants cathedral is going to be coming up in the back. So we got 4 villagers working on that bad boy. My opponent's banked resources not quite there. He's a little bit stronger in terms of eco, I would say. He's got all these deer in his base. And a little bit of a mistake, though. The deer should have been dropped down by the mill, in my opinion. Although maybe he was concerned about horseman harass, which I think he was. So I understand why he did this. You know, he wants to keep it closer to his base to make sure the horsemen can't come and harass us. Because, you know, some players might build more and more horsemen and continue to harry you in that position. So I understand that. Regnant's Cathedral's coming up here. That will be our big, scary landmark for the Jesus there. We're going to be pumping out prelates. You can see an extra prelate coming out right now. He's going to be going after this landmark. And in the meantime, my opponent building his second TC. So he's not going for the Song Dynasty boom. Looks like he's just going 2 TC first. But I would imagine the Song Dynasty will come in time. And that will give him access to just a massive amount of villagers. So still scouting around his base here. You can see the old horseman looking for the goodies. And in the base, he is getting the Song Dynasty now. Power building that shit. So now he's really going to be benefiting from this. And if we take a look at the Song Dynasty, I don't know if we can look on this screen in the replay. Doesn't look like it. It'll probably put him up on score a little bit. Yeah, he actually passes me on score with that. But all of his villagers will produce quite a bit faster now. Actually, as a matter of fact, what is the exact count? I think it's 35 or 36% faster. And now if he wants to, he can also make villages, which give him 40 supply for 1 building. And he can make the Jug Nu, which I always mangle their names, so my sincere apologies. Somebody will teach me how to say that someday in person. So a little bit of a horseman raid here in the back. Going to be kind of just circling the back of the base, moving in and trying to disrupt his gold income. I have gotten the Castle Age, and the Regnant's Cathedral has been a success for the most part, but my opponent very privy to this. Look at this. He's building cages around the relics on the map. He gets another cage right here. He denies me 2 relics, but we are able to get this one at least, and Homeboy up here is bringing this one back. So we're not going to have a fully operational Regnants right away, but we will get it up eventually. The horsemen get in there. My opponent, very, very good play here with the outposts, able to jump back in. But again, these outposts cost 100 to pop, right? So if he is investing in that, that's a little bit less infrastructure he's pumping out, more archery ranges, and now he is supervising this mill, and it looks like these villagers are bringing back to the mill. So we did kind of rectify that situation and did correct his food economy here, which he's probably crushing me on right now. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that, Jesus. 800. I'm obviously doing better on gold because Regnants is online, and we do have a decent little farm economy being set up around the old Aachen Chapel here. But the double relic in the Regnants is going to give us a big gold advantage, and he still is in the feudal age, and we're quite ahead on score. I think that's because of the Regnants. And our horsemen are pulling back. Now we are switching into barracks. You can see men-at-arms coming out, so the aggressive force of big, thick German steel will be on the battlefield here in just a minute. And let's do a little bit of fast forwarding while they peruse around the battlefield. So I do have the advantage of the age. My men-at-arms going to be moving up, and I did have a prelate up here trying to get the relic, but he had a little bit of a rough time. Was ambushed by a bunch of Chinese scouts. He's like, "Help, Anakin, I am too weak." But the infantry, the upgraded men-at-arms going to be getting in, pushing those guys back, and then they will be able to torch down this wall. and we will take that relic back. So he does deny me for a little bit of time, but there's no follow-up here, so thankfully I will be able to get the relic. My opponent going to be going to the next stage now, so he's not terribly behind, and when he does get there, the score will not equalize, but it will be a little bit closer. 26 to 2,000 right now. Certainly looking pretty wild. So here comes the astronomical clock tower. Now, normally, he could start spamming spring alts, which would just pretty much junk on my army, right? But this is the age of spring alts are over, and Nest of Bees is going to be the new answer to my force. Nest of Bees, spring alts, of course, to deal with my own mangonels, but it's a whole different ball game, man. In the back, my opponent jacking the deer from me, so clever girl indeed, going to be taking all these deer back to his base. And I'm just kind of like, whatever, man, you just have the deer. I'm going to go farm economy, and even though it's a little bit slower, we're not that far behind him on food, and his economy will run out, and he's going to be forced to switch, whereas my economy, if we can stand the test of time, is going to be getting that constant Aachen influence and just going nonstop. So I'm really kind of banking on that for the long game, setting up a second monastery as well, because we are going to be getting more relics. The men-at-arms kind of lurking through the forest here, looking for more prizes, as my opponent has not jacked the deer yet. I'm not sure what he's doing back there with those scouts. I think his intention was to jack the deer, but I'm coming for them relics, man. We got some Lanzknecht mixed in the army as well. We got the quad archery range, using gold to buy whatever I need, basically. And now we have the upgrades coming in, more and more houses in the backfield. And let's look at the eco. So he's at 68 workers. I would imagine I'm probably like close to 50. Yeah, 44. He's got the double TC with the Song Dynasty, so there's no keeping up with that many villagers. And very, very good tech from my opponent as well, going for the crossbowmen, which really dunk on HRE units. So yeah, that's going to be tough to deal with. I'm going to have to get mangonels or something. Thankfully, no big fancy artillery's coming out. And down in the corner, I think he built it. I think my prelate grabs it as he was building it, so he was able to escape and just straight up go James Bond on that shit and escape. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. So, crossbowmen of my own coming out, expecting maybe some Palace Guard. I don't know, basic archers might have been a little bit of a better choice, but Homeboy's going to be going to grab this relic here, but I will be discovering in a moment that my opponent does have that walled off. So we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding. The army's moving across, looking around, and I do discover his little barricade here, so we do take down the wall, and the prelate's going to be grabbing the relic, taking it back to the old HRE headquarters. And in the meantime, the Chinese are mustering a Dread Legion and really just playing defensive eco, which can work. I mean, even if I do have the relic advantage, his lead with villagers is crushing. Income per minute, he's better on food. He's better on pretty much everything except gold, which is, pretty standard. Oftentimes, HRE players will go one base, and then they go fast Imperial Age, and they get the Palace of Swabia to get the extra TC and get their villagers caught up in that point. But a little bit scary for sure. And unfortunately, Father Time here was ambushed by the wolves in the forest, so he's going to get jumped, and Friar Tuck not going to be having a great time, as that is going to be the end of the road at the hands of the bitiest infantry in the entire game. So here, I also saw him jacking my food right from under my nose. Pretty sad about that, but the crossbowmen do try and pick him off, but good micro from my opponent, and yeah, that damn prelate. I hate the wolves so much. It was really funny. I was watching Day 9 stream, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, I think they should just delete wolves from the game. I'm like, hell yeah, brother, I agree. But Siege Workshop's coming out, going to be getting mangoes as well as the speed upgrade so I can keep pace with the Chinese. And the Chinese just spamming crossbows, which is good. You want a couple Palace Guard. Palace Guard aren't going to trade well versus my infantry, but they're very good at diving HRE artillery. Palace Guard can run much, much quicker than the HRE troops and really can cause some serious problems. So we have 5 relics, which is pretty brutal. That's going to be 900 plus 200, 1100 gold a minute. So I don't even really have to do anything there. And the Palace of Swabia is going to be coming up here at the 18-minute mark, which is a relatively fast Imperial Age. Our scores are very even, though. He's a little bit ahead of me because of the villagers, and here the horsemen did come to deal with the wolves, and we will be sending another prelate there in just a minute to go grab that sacred site. So once again, we can do a little fast forwarding, a little bit of a lull in the action here as his crossbows continue to do their thing, and my opponent keeps booming. He's got a lot of stables here in the back, maybe thinking about some Fire Lancers. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. And here he's going to be setting up a keep to secure the gold, which is a very, very good play, and also setting up a market behind it. Don't know if he's going to look to trade. He could do a little trade route down here, perhaps. We will find out, and I do have the double mangonel. So now the Holy Roman's looking to get aggressive. My gold advantage is showing itself in the form of my artillery and some of the other units I have, but his eco and army is getting very, very strong. My military is 37. His military is 48. So he's stronger in that regard too. But again, I do have the Imperial Age advantage. My units will be elite very, very soon. If I'm not mistaken, I was researching it. Yes, so we have elite men-at-arms now, which is big. Those guys are very meaty. Elite men-at-arms with 180 HP, and once you get the army tactics, they can get quite a bit stronger. So battering ram's going to be coming up. We will be getting aggressive, taking sacred site after sacred site. So we've taken this one, and this one will be attempted here in a hot minute. And I do think my opponent's going to be going for a little bit of trade. So we'll do some fast forwarding. Enemy capturing sacred sites. Yes, I'm the enemy in this case. We'll switch back to my perspective. In terms of villagers, we are catching up a little bit. So if you look at the villager count, I am up to what appears to be 71. And my opponent's probably at close to 100. He has 104. But the Palace of Swabia does produce quite a bit faster. So we are able to produce villagers at a pretty quick rate there. And the battering rams are getting ready. We're setting up our own keep here, just trying to get some positional play. And he's got a single spring ult, not too much artillery. Looks like Nest the Bees is not coming out, going to be getting spring. So perhaps still in that pre-patch mindset. I think a lot of players, it's going to take some time to switch it up. So this was a pretty funny play. He came to wall off this trade site here. He's setting up the marketplaces in the corner, and he's going for the big Chinese trade, which is very smart, right? He's got stone walls coming here, but I snuck some villagers in, and I don't know if you could see this. Oh my God, he didn't see it. Oh my God. So I had a villager here building shit in his trade site, and we're setting up an outpost right here. And that's the thing about this map, man. Shit gets really sneaky. So battering rams coming in. The ram's going to go full Ramstein. So do host to blasting from the speakers of the battering rams, as now the villagers and the clock tower spring ults getting ready to party. The elite men-at-arms, I don't quite have the elite army tactics yet, but the university has been made, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in this big chunk of space, and we're going to be trying to get that going. So the battering rams doing their thing, villagers coming to repair, and seeing the villagers there, I certainly got a little bit excited, as now the old Mango is going to be just getting a ton of value popping those workers down. But he also gets his spring ults and is able to punish my Mangan Elf. So spring ults are very, very effective what they do. And here comes the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, his keep is still up, but my infantry are clobbering through his palace guard pretty badly, but he's got a huge wave of crossbowmen, and my men-at-arms not having a great time. The floppy hat men doing their thing while the prelate trying to heal some of those boys, but alas, we were forced to retreat there, but we got the keep down, which is good. I mean, still not great. We're forced back, but we do have really good gold. Our income per minute on gold is crushing him because he only has this gold site right here, and there was another gold here in the forest. So I knew he was a little bit gold starved, which was nice, and I was just cackling all the way to the bank, just straight up Palpatine. And another keep coming up, which without gold, Chinese bombards aren't really going to be on the menu. And what I did is, he didn't see that, and then I grab my two villagers and I build a stone wall here to trap all of his traders here in this little cage in the corner. And I don't know if he still sees this yet. He still does not see it. Oh my God, this map is so awesome. this is so troll, bro, because this is all stealth forest. Like this whole map is. So there's a huge stone wall being built here. He has no idea that's happening. And we do finish the stone wall. Unfortunately, we had to battle some wolves, but he's going to be getting his trade walled in. And I think that was like his whole kind of late game plan. Unfortunately for me, though, he does get this gold node in the corner, which I didn't notice here, and he's also supervising it. So very, very on point with that, but the dreaded trading is happening. Some more battering rams coming in. We're getting bombards. We have the gold advantage, so I can get those very, very fancy artillery pieces, and he can't. I don't really need more villagers at this point. Our food is okay. Not as good as his, but we do have the Aachen boom, and some of the fertilization upgrades are coming in. I believe we're all finished. Some more battering rams getting their business, getting ready to push into the Chinese base, who again are very, very defensive here. And look at this. He's got four traders here in the corner. They can't escape because our little haggard stone wall. That is so funny. So what ends up happening here is I push in with the Rams, the old Ramstein coming for round 2, and I think my opponent is going to be making some bombards to go deal with that like backdoor harass. But the Rams just go after the Barbican of the Sun. They're trying to get a little poke going, but he does get a bombard cannon out, and that is going to be kind of forcing me back. So we got hand cannons now. We got elite crossbowmen, I think. No, just basic. But our men-at-arms have gotten the elite army tactics, so now they get 20% more health, and they hit like absolute linebackers. So here it comes. The Rams coming in once again. The Du Hast to blasting from the speakers. Here we go. We got 3 bombard cannons as well as 1 Mango. Going to be trying to get some value here. And we do also build a monastery back here, and we take the sacred site. So my opponent currently on the sacred timer as well. And here comes the Rams moving in. The HRE boys getting them thick maces, and we are able to can his artillery there pretty effectively. And he actually sent his bombards back here to break through and let his traders out. And when I saw the bombards leave, I was like, all right, let's just get in here and fight. And a huge shot coming into the Mangadel as many of his units are just getting crushed here in the front. And in the back, yes, he finally frees his traders, but I have outposts back here with cannon emplacements, and in the front, it's looking pretty grim for the Chinese as the HRE troops able to just push through, and we have way too many bombards for him to deal with. I think he had 2 himself, which aren't really upgraded. They are clock towers, so that's quite nice, but the pressure here is pretty immense. We're doing a little bit of fast forwarding, mainly just pushing through the base right now. The men-at-arms doing their trick, and the dreaded secret agent wall in the corner able to do the job. And look at these brave villagers torching that bombard cannon. But for now, we're able to just push through his base, use our superior bombards to just move through, slowly destroy infrastructure, and that is going to be GG, well played. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Some very cheeky play in that game. I actually think this was really big. Like, I don't know if his trade was going to be there on time, but it did quite good in terms of like slowing him down. And I thought that was pretty damn memey for sure. So let's go to the overview. Where can we see this? This was on the high view. Yeah, this map is just so ridiculous. So let's look at the economy, the statistics here. We certainly did quite good on gold, 32,020. He beat us on food pretty soundly though, and I mean, he still had decent gold, but I think the gold was a big factor. I really liked him trying to deny the relics. That was certainly quite strong. But in the end, we got 5 relics. Regnus was operational, and most things went according to plan. He still boomed pretty hard, which kept him ahead of me on food. But yeah, it's any given Sunday, man. It was that trade operation in the back was such a meme. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Again, another lesson that I'm trying to teach myself is to be aggressive early with the Holy Romans, even if it's with horsemen. Just get in there and put some pressure on your opponent. It changes the mindset. You know, he built 4 or 5 outposts. He responded with spearmen. These are things that like set your don't let your opponent execute their game plan to perfection. And it's a mistake I make a lot of times, especially on live streams when I'm like trying to give commentary. My brain doesn't like really think that, but when I've been playing offline, I've really been trying to kind of focus on that. So hopefully that was helpful. GG, well played to my opponent. We'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves, and the Emperor protects. Cheers.